Howdy, Ekinalo, H2Os, Roller Bros, and Awkward Black Gals alike. I'm your guy to Q and answer your question, Awkward Black Gal. That is Sal Volcano at the end of my last r/trashy video. He is our Lord and Savior. But with that aside, let's get into some of these r/AmITheAntagonist stories. These ones are pretty crazy. Like 2 out of 3 of these situations, I am genuinely at a loss as to how I would even begin to handle dealing with it if I were in the OP's situation. So let's get into these stories. Please be sure to let me know what you think. Am I the antagonist for using poop bags for my daughter's birthday party? It sounds like a joke, but this is actually a really serious post. My daughter just turned 6. We had a birthday party for her on Saturday. That morning was pretty hectic. I was outside setting up, and suddenly my wife comes outside yelling about how the grocery store screwed up the birthday cake and I didn't notice. All that happened was that they spelled our daughter's name Sarah, it's Sarah without an H, and I said who cares, just scrape off the H, but instead she insisted on returning it. So I said fine, whatever, and then as she's leaving she says since I screwed up already, I should make up for it by finishing the decorations. I go into the kitchen and I ask my daughter, what's the most important thing? She says the gift bags. I found all the candy and toys and what I thought were the bags they were supposed to go into. So I make up the bags, my daughter helps, and she thinks they look great and she's happy with them. My wife comes home and takes over, satisfied by the new cake and the attempt I made at helping. So a little while after that, the guests arrives. The day went pretty well until the end. My daughter reminds us that we need to hand out the gift bags. My wife panics, thinking that she forgot about them, but then she says, don't worry, Dad made them. And she looked so relieved until I got the box. She looked inside and was horrified. What is this? She whispers, and she thrusts the box back at me and rushes into the bedroom. I follow her and find her sitting on the bed crying. She's so embarrassed. Why? She won't say. I'm not sure what to do because people are trying to leave and they're confused as to what's going on. I then just take over goodbye duty and hand out the bags to the kids at the door and say bye with my daughter. Well, halfway through doing that, my wife came back out and took the box from me and brought it into the bedroom and threw it on the ground. What? She finally tells me, those are dog poop bags, and basically I'm stupid and I've ruined all the hard work she put into the party. Well, Reddit, they don't look like dog poop bags. They're just small pink bags with hearts on them. Who really cares? I tell her it's not like they're dirty, they're small bags like any other bags. And damn it, she freaked. She says she's so mortified she doesn't even want to show her face at the school anymore. So yeah, I've been bringing my daughter to school every day this week, which has been making me late to work, and my wife will barely even speak to me, though my daughter thinks everything was fine. She laughed when I told her they were really dog poop bags. My wife got even more mad at me for telling our daughter. I told my wife she needs to chill, and she basically said I was a huge ass, and she's mad that I don't think it's a big deal, and I still don't. Actually, I think I'm the one that should be mad at her for keeping this going for almost a week. So, Reddit, am I the antagonist? So, oh boy, did Reddit hate this dad for what he did in this situation, and I'm kinda surprised, because I think there's a little bit of fault all over the place here, but I don't think this guy is necessarily in the wrong. I think maybe, yes, he was taking things a little bit too casually, especially with the cake. You know, it's pretty good practice to get that actually fixed at the place, to have the right spelled name be on the cake. And sure, the dog poop bags were an oversight, but guess what? The daughter didn't care at all. She thought it was funny, and she thought the bags looked good. Maybe a couple of the moms will recognize them as poop bags, and it'll be an awkward topic of conversation for you later in time. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the wife was, like, giving her husband the silent treatment for a week about this. That seems like something that actually might negatively affect the kid. A lot of these frickin' commenters on Reddit were like, oh, you're like mistreating your daughter and it's clear that you don't care about her at all, and it's like, Okay, that's way over the top. The dad doing these small things is not going to affect anything that negatively. His daughter seemed to have had a good time, and I honestly think maybe he's a little bit too casual in his parenting style. His wife is definitely too uptight in her parenting style. They need to talk about this, get it figured out, maybe see a therapist or something like that, because I have a feeling that this isn't gonna jive if this blew up that badly. But let me know what you guys think. I honestly don't think this guy is the antagonist, but if you have a different take, let me know. Am I the antagonist for choosing my biological child over my foster son? My husband and I never thought that we could get pregnant, so we got plenty of therapy after a few failed treatments, and moved to fostering with the intent to adopt. We've had a few fosters, but this concerns our current foster, a 9-year-old who's been with us for 2 years. He's a spirited boy, but not a bad kid. Just takes a lot of time, money, and mental energy. The child's case plan has now moved to adoption, and we were identified as an adoptive resource. We were taking the first steps towards adoption when we found out that I was pregnant. It was mind-blowing as this is my first pregnancy, and I'm now over 40. I had thought that I'd finally hit menopause, but was in fact 12 weeks pregnant. Unfortunately, after thinking we could do both, we did the hard math, and with our work and our finances, the only way we could raise our foster son is if we terminate this pregnancy. We can't financially have both children. I can't emotionally bring myself to terminate what is realistically our only chance at a biological child, who I am already bonding with. My husband wouldn't think of it either. We have to refuse the adoption. Unfortunately, still, our foster son knows of preparations for an adoption through his therapist and social worker, so now we're taking him away from a stable home and what may be his only chance of adoption as he is older, all for reasons that aren't his fault. Am I the antagonist for putting a still unborn child above him? Edit. Baby is past prenatal testing with flying colors. Finances. We currently live in a 2-bedroom condo. We are required to give foster son his own room, which is not possible with a baby by social services standards. Us moving into the living room doesn't pass either. Social services is giving us until January to find a larger place, but we would have to stay in the county. We can't afford 3-bedroom places in the county as it's a costly area. We don't qualify for assistance with both of us working, and if one of us quits, we wouldn't be able to afford our current place even with the assistance we could get. Both of us working would make it difficult to swing appointments for 2 children as well. It's a catch-22, basically. This one just blows my mind, because it seems like no matter which way you cut it, it's terrible. Like, this is a lose-lose situation, because it seems like they've already made the decision to give up the adoption for this unborn child, which, I mean, makes sense from a certain perspective, because it seems like their financial situation is really rough, but then you think of this kid that was getting all excited to finally have a permanent home, and now he doesn't have that anymore. Just looking back through the post, the thing that's really standing out to me right now is this description of the foster kid. He's a spirited boy, but not a bad kid. Just takes a lot of time, money, and mental energy, and that isn't exactly a glowing review, you know? They say he's not a bad kid, and I'm not saying this is anything against the kid, but it just doesn't sound like they're, like, in love with him or whatever, or I feel like they would have described him a little bit nicer in this whole thing, but maybe they're just trying to get over the fact that they aren't going to be able to actually adopt this kid, even though they got his hopes up. But yeah, let me know if you have any ideas. I was thinking that maybe they could move into a less expensive area, but they said that they wouldn't be able to do that because of, like, adoption regulations and stuff. It sounds like they're kind of just screwed, but let me know what you think. Am I the antagonist for becoming hysterical at a school secretary's expense? Throwaway, I'm just going to get into it. I, 19 male, got a call from my mother frantically telling me that she got a call from my sister's school because apparently she had ingested peanuts. She is deathly anaphylactic. I was at home for reading week and I'm studying for midterms and dropped everything and drove as legally fast as possible to get down to the school. I ran into the office, which was really crowded. There was only one secretary, and I knew instantly who it was. My mother and a lot of other parents complain about her being a short-tempered smartass. I ran in, but there was a lineup. I told her my urgent need to talk to her right now due to my sister's allergic reaction, and she looked at me and asked if I was blind. There's a line, hun. I waited for about 2 minutes before telling her this really can't wait, and she put up a finger and picked up the phone. I got upset, and she called the hall monitor to escort me outside the office until she was ready to talk to me. I was yelling to tell her about my sister's allergic reaction, yet she told me she didn't want to hear it. I was in absolute awe at her attitude, especially with the situation I was in. I dialed 911 because it seemed like the school didn't care at all about my sister. The secretary saw me and ran out to tell me to hang up. She started by telling me, "See, hun, I told you to wait for a reason. There was a mix-up. A student told your sister that she gave her something with peanuts as a joke. We are dealing with that student right now. I could have handled this situation a lot better. I have a lot of students to deal with." I looked at her and said, "What on earth are you talking about? My sister is deathly allergic, and you expect me not to be worried and wait and do nothing? Every second counts in an emergency, you idiot. What were you expecting? Were you waiting to keep me on edge for as long as possible before telling me?" I yelled at her for a bit more and she started to tear up and walked off. Absolutely hilarious. Love to see this woman cry. The monitor told me to leave. The school isn't going to deal with a hysterical child. We are waiting for your parents and we will then deal with your attitude. Are you serious? How am I supposed to react in that situation? Yes, I agree I was really angry, but I feel like it was justified. My sister could have died. All she had to say was there was a mix-up. I would have waited if I heard a logical reason like that as to why she didn't need to talk to me right at that moment. Am I the antagonist? They add an edit here. To add context, some people are confused as to why I didn't immediately go to the hospital. The reasons why are because, 1, I don't know what hospital to go to, 2, they were not contacting me even though I'm on her emergency contact, 3, from my understanding, she ran to a teacher and told her she was going to have an allergic reaction, so she got sent to the nurse and my mom was notified. Before anything went down, the idiot student who tricked her told the teacher that it was a prank, and she didn't actually have any peanuts. Obviously, it was a really dumb and small prank that turned into a big situation. I guess the faculty themselves were confused about what was actually going on, so they were unsure what to do. Okay, so as you might be able to tell from my interjection mid-story, obviously this person is not in the wrong. They were looking for vital information in an emergency situation, and they were not receiving it. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely insane, and that almost leads me to believe that this story might be, like, embellished or something, because it sounds so insane. So there was a line to get to this person that was running the secretary desk for the office. Are the people in this line not also parents that would understand the gravity of a situation in which somebody had a deadly allergy that may have been triggered? Like, I feel like they would be like, "Oh no, you can cut in front of us right now, we don't care, like, make sure that your kid or your sister is not dead." But assuming that everything is legit, this person should 100% be fired, the front desk worker, secretary, whatever you want to call her, because all it would have taken is her saying, "Oh, I'll get to you in 1 second, just so you know it was a prank and your sister was not actually exposed to peanuts." Like, it would have been so simple. So let me know what you think about all these stories. Just so you guys know, I gotta make these announcements. I did put out a new video over on my gaming channel. It's me doing this, like, cool roulette challenge on AITA and I, the first zombies map ever, where I have to use a different gun every single round in the game. It's fun. I had a great time with it. I have big plans for the gaming channel, so please subscribe over there. There will be a link in the comments and the description down below. As always, I hope you guys are all doing well, skating on to the best of your abilities, staying safe, taking care of one another, drinking amounts of water. I'm gonna have, like, so many things that I require from you guys at the end of the video by this time next year. But anyway, skate on, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Hey, yo, if you're interested in fun things and more of me, I've got a gaming channel. I just posted a new video on there where I do this cool, like, roulette challenge on AITA and I, and I explain it in the video. If you're interested, check it out. It's just kind of like a little hangout, an 18-minute video. I got some live stream stuff over there, feel free to just check it out. Search GameCube on YouTube so that it can actually show up and not be immediately auto-corrected to GameCube. I hope you guys are all doing well out there, staying safe, skating on to the best of your abilities, taking care of one another, and drinking more water. Hydration is so important. That's how I make these 6 moves in zombies. Peace out, guys. Skate on. Bye.